Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the home in East Providence, Rhode Island for this Thursday, January 11th, 2024. And this wrestling show starts right now. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. Welcome to a special Thursday night edition of Thursday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And we are just gonna dive right on in. We're gonna kick everything off with NXT, and then we'll follow that up with AEW Dynamite. So NXT started off with Blair Davenport and Nikita Lyons one-on-one. Winner of the bout in 5 minutes and 25 seconds was Blair Davenport, winning the match clean. Look, I think the way that this played out, it was more of a shocking turn of event and more of a shocking outcome more than anything else. I think none of us really thought that that was going to be the layout or the end for this matchup. But look, give credit where credit's due. You can even make an argument that this is Blair's biggest win by far in her career. To knock off Nikita Lyons is actually a big feat in itself. And the match was pretty good. I'm not going to say overly special, but I could say 2.5 stars. I could give that. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, Blair Davenport getting a monumental win over Nikita Lyons.
And how long? 5 minutes and what?
25 seconds.
5:25. All right. Okay. This was a solid physical battle that showed Nikita Lyons is picking up where she left off. She and Blair Davenport have chemistry to explore that could be more apparent in a longer and more competitive bout. Instead, this ended at the 5-minute mark to perhaps highlight Lyons needs more time to get things right before she can make Davenport pay. This was the right time to keep the Iron Survivor winner's momentum. She needed the win here more than Lyons, who will get it back in a match with more hype down the line. And Lyons superplexed Davenport across the ring and then hit a spinning senton in the corner, followed by a Samoan drop for a near fall. 2.5 stars is the correct rating on this. It definitely ranks up there as a quality win for Blair Davenport, but still, MF, still her biggest win was when she won the Iron Survivor last month. So,
Yeah.
So that will still be her biggest win unless one day, maybe later this year, who knows, unless they ever decide to put the women's title on her. But for right now, that Iron Survivor is still her biggest win. But this one's up there, though. I'll give you that. 2.5 stars for me. Set me up for the next match.
All right. And we started the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Oh.
We had the Gallus boys, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. They went up against Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, winners of the bout, 10 minutes and 54 seconds. Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin had advanced in the Dusty Classic. You could consider this somewhat of an upset because that was really a makeshift team. Gallus has been one of the more premier teams in NXT, and next thing we know, Anthony Florio, they let Braun and Baron go over. This was somewhat of a major upset.
Definitely. No question about it here. 3.25 stars. After a short opener, this battle went overly long, but was an engaging showcase, especially for Braun Breaker. He looked like he was working a different level to everyone else. The four teams worked a solid, hard-hitting battle that showed the value of Gallus in a tag division that has lost some established teams, such as the Creed brothers and Los Lotharios recently. Since its inception, the Dusty Classic has struggled to highlight the complete tag team division, putting together makeshift tandems for the tournament. That continues this year with teams like Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, as well as Nathan Frazier and Axiom. This hurts the credibility of established teams like Gallus, who lost to a duo that was destroying the Performance Center to hurt each other a few months ago. There are some who are hoping that the ultimate plan is not for Breakker and Corbin to win it all. They can tell a great story together, but they are not a tag team yet. Cody Rhodes narrated a video package on the Dusty Classic, and NXT showed the complete bracket for the Classic and announced that the finals will take place on Sunday night, February the 4th, as part of NXT Vengeance Day in Clarksville, Tennessee. Baron Corbin missed Wolfgang with a right hand, landing a punch squarely on the steel post. This left him with an injured hand through the home stretch of the bout. Braun Breakker went on a rampage during his hot tag and had the crowd going wild, especially after a suplex on both members of Gallus. And that's really all I can say here. So this was a solid 3.25 stars. And I'll tell you what, MF, I mean, that crowd was kind of getting behind Breakker and Corbin there near the end there. So who knows? I'm going to be honest with you right now. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is the favorites to win. I think I could see these guys going all the way with this. I mean, I know there are some who are hoping not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up going all the way here. I wouldn't. So.
Well, yeah, in one way, yes. In another way, I'm with the fans. You don't really need these two to win that competition.
I agree with that, but
but now remember, the winners of this competition automatically receive an NXT title fight down the line. So, I mean, Breakker and Corbin doesn't necessarily need to win this tournament. A lot of people feel like Breakker and Corbin should be back on the main roster. And it's kind of one of those where you could make an argument that they deserve to win this. And the way that the bracket is set it up, I'll give you that. But I don't know for sure if that's the right outcome, I should say, or the right thing that should happen. But we'll wait and see. I mean, jury's out to lunch on it, and we'll go from there. So, hold on.
3.25 for me. So, your thoughts?
Well, before I do my thoughts, I'm gonna bring in Michael Bullock. Bullock, you didn't really miss much. We only had a couple things that went down. We had Blair Davenport versus Nikita Lyons. Blair Davenport winning the match in 5:25. Bullock?
Yeah. All right. I'll give it about maybe 2.5 for this. I mean, I thought it was a good match. I mean, it was a little too short for my liking, but I do agree. I mean, I think Blair Davenport going over was the right call. I mean, I think Nikita Lyons will get her payback eventually, but yeah, I think this was the right call. And as far as this match goes, 3.25 stars. I mean, this was somewhat of an upset. I mean, and I agree with what you just said, Fletch. I mean, do these two really need to win this event? I don't think so, because they should be bound for the main roster. And if I'm going to be quite honest with you, Fletch, I think Gallus should have gone over on this one, because I mean they're more like a tag team, while Breakker and Corbin were just thrown together. So we'll see what happens as this goes on. So that's pretty much all I got to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. So with that said, we do indeed move on to the next matchup, which was Oro Mensah going one-on-one with Josh Briggs. And it was Josh Briggs winning the match in 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So, Michael Bullock, I'll let you have it. It's yours.
Oh, what was the time again?
3:26.
Well, too short for my liking. I'll give this about maybe 1.5 on this one, but I thought this should have gone a little longer, but way too short for my liking. So it's yours, Fletch.
I get the shortness of it, but I also get why they did it. It gives Briggs an opportunity. It does open the door for him to go back and fight for the Heritage Cup again, which I think that's the ultimate draw here, and to try to lead everything together. So, yes, there's really nothing more to say here. So, like Bullock said, it's about a 1.5, 1 3/4 of a match. Anthony, it's yours.
1.5. This was a complete squash, but one that made complete sense. The big man is trying to establish himself as a solo act and had a bone to pick with Mensah. He needed to win this with dominance. It sets up a rematch with Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup sooner than later. Metaphor cannot catch many breaks, but they are entertaining enough to make up for a rash of losses. Noam Dar is a great veteran to push Josh Briggs up the ranks in NXT. And the Scottish Supernova got in Briggs' face right after the bell rang. I mean, not really too much of anything to get into here. 1.5. But coming up next. Oh, yeah, this definitely must be addressed. We got a title match here, boys.
NXT Tag Team titles on the line. The champions, Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo, going up against Lucien Prince and Bronco Nima, with Scripps in the corner, out the mud, as they call themselves. It was the family successfully defending the titles in 11 minutes and 47 seconds. You could easily make an argument for fight of the night. This was an excellent tag team title match. A solid 3.5 stars as well. Could have gone in many different ways. Out the Mud looked really good in their opportunity for the belt, but the family was not going to lose these titles, at least not yet. They might lose it to the winners of the Dusty Cup when it's all said and done. That's very possible. But until now, the family shined bright. Tony D and Stax looked amazing in their victory. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours. 3.5, and you can make an argument for fight of the night.
Absolutely. 3.25, 3.5. OTM may not have the most varied moveset, but they deliver exciting matches. They push the family with multiple memorable near falls. This match hit its top gear. This is likely the best these teams can do together, so there's little reason to go back to it. OTM will need to regroup and find a fresh rivalry. The family with Rizzo should stay at the top of the tag team division for a while. Tony D'Angelo remains one of NXT's most capable performers and has pushed the underboss to compete at a new level. Bronco Nima saved Price from a double team powerbomb, then planted the Don with the OTM, but D'Angelo kicked out. Scripps helped up Nima and pushed him in to save Price after he took the bada bing, bada boom. Rizzo knocked Scripps off the top rope to stop his interference. And you noticed in the parking lot afterwards, Jada Parker told OTM that they needed her, and the group agreed. There's an interesting development there, so keep an eye on that. But for right now, 3.25, 3.5. Certainly, you can make an argument for fight of the night on this one, no doubt about it. So, Michael Bullock, nothing left to say here except the champions stay the champions.
3.25, 3.5. I mean, the champions, like you said, they stay the champions. I mean, but this was definitely a good fight. But yeah, this to me was still the right outcome here. I mean, so yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say on it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, nothing for us to say. It was solid for what it was worth. Next up, after that, we had ourselves a women's matchup. Gigi Dolan going one-on-one with Cora Jade. Cora Jade winning the match in 4 minutes and 5 seconds. I believe this goes to Anthony Florio. So, Florio, it is all yours.
Absolutely right. It does go to me. 2 stars. It was relatively flat. Gigi Dolan has lost much of her credibility with flat booking in 2023 and hardly looked like a serious threat to Jade. The action also lacked for highlights with a slow pace over just 4 minutes. It was fine for what it was, though, particularly another win for Cora Jade, who is the most likely top contender to Lyra Valkyria in the coming weeks. However, Cora still needs to open up her moveset to hang with the top women in the division, especially if she is facing the Valkyrie at a premium live event. The crowd took a little while to get into the action, but did give the women a dueling chant as they began ramping up the action. Solid 2 stars. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, Cora Jade continues to build up her credibility, because I firmly believe she will be the one who will ultimately dethrone Lyra Valkyria for that women's title.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, even though I want to see her get a long, nice run with the title, but in honesty, I think it's Cora Jade's time, because I mean, I think it's her time to hold the title. But yeah, I mean, I'll give this about maybe 1.5 to 2 on this one. I mean, again, another short match. I mean, I thought this would be a really tough challenge for Cora Jade going up against someone like Gigi Dolan, but Cora Jade once again. I mean, using. I mean, obviously overcoming everything and basically being her usual heel self, basically doing those heelish things. But yeah, so we'll see what happens next with her, because like you said, I think she's probably going to be the one to dethrone Lyra Valkyria, but we'll see what happens. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, nothing more to say. I could give one about 2.25 stars, no doubt about that. It was as good as it was gonna get. So yeah, really nothing more to add here. So next up we had Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. This is another one of the first round in the Dusty Cup, and it was Axiom and Nathan Frazier advancing 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
Another 2-star match here. I mean, again, another match that I thought was a little too short for my liking. I thought I would have liked to see a little more, but to me, the right team went over, and who knows? Maybe this is one of the teams that could be the favorites to win it all, to win the Dusty Cup, because I mean, I like this tandem with Axiom and Nathan Frazier here. So we'll see what happens. So nice win for them. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, nice win. About 2 stars for me as well. Could have been better in certain areas, but I actually like the Nathan Frazier Axiom. You know, that's a pretty interesting team and body of work. We'll see how it plays out, but no, I'm thoroughly impressed with how this went down, and yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So, Anthony, it's yours.
2 stars. Hank and Tank were the highlight of this match, showcasing their team synergy and unique power moves together. Frazier and Axiom look like 2 exciting individuals in comparison, and they have more obvious chemistry as a team. If these teams wanted to fight again with more time, it would be welcome. They have something together that could be a key piece to elevating the tag team division. Hank blasted Frazier with a big boot, and Hank and Tank then slammed him with a dual avalanche. So we'll see what happens with that. So another 2-star match, and we move on to a most interesting main event that was thrown together at the last minute. And well, we already had one. We thought we were going to have one title match, but MF, we ended up having a second one.
Well, here's the reason why. So, first all we had was Dragon Lee versus Lexis King. Dragon Lee won the match in 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Then, Oba Fema came out, or Abi Fema came out, and sure enough, remember, he had the breakout tournament contract, which specified that he could challenge for any title in NXT. He decided, I'm going to go after the North American Championship. I'm not going after the NXT title. I want the North American title. So Abi cashes in on Dragon Lee, and Abi takes the belt home. He wins the NXT Championship in 1 minute and 16 seconds. So Abi Fima is the new NXT North American Champion. My goodness. All right, so let's do this. First off, surprise. Well, no big surprise. Dragon Lee winning the match. Obviously, I'm going to give this about 3 to 3.25 stars. Solid main event match. Good fight. I got nothing wrong to say about that. For Obi Fima to cash in, I think was the biggest surprise. I think we all were thinking maybe he goes after the NXT title. Maybe it's not going to be right away. Maybe he waits down the line. He did not hesitate. He went for it all. He went for the gusto, thought, it's here, it's now. I got an opportunity at the title, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to go for the straight cash in. And sure enough, he goes for the cash in, and he's walking out a champion. A lot of people were wondering, was that the right decision to have him win the NXT tournament? Obviously, they had big plans for him. I don't think none of us thought he was going to get the North American title this fast, this quick, 1 week after winning the breakout tournament. And now 1 week later, he's the North American champion. Strap the jackpack on the back. This brother's going straight to the moon, as we would say. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, oh my goodness. Unprecedented crowning, history made. We have a new North American champion.
Yes, we do. Dragon Lee versus Lexis King was a decent match, but the real goal was to set up the surprise cash-in. This was a huge endorsement for the new champion. Oba Femi has barely gotten started in NXT, but it seems the stalling was just to give the big man his best spotlight to shine. He looks like an unstoppable force from his booking in the last month. Dragon Lee did what he could with a short reign, delivering solid matches on NXT and Friday Night SmackDown. However, the goal was always to transition to someone who works the gold brand exclusively going forward. While the action was forgettable, the result was one of the most exciting in recent NXT history. This was a true commitment to the future overnight. Dragon Lee told Ava that his visa issues were resolved. He was confronted by Lexis King, who convinced him to sign a contract for their match in the main event. Lexis King mocked Oba Femi backstage, giving the breakout tournament winner an idea to watch the main event closely. And then Trey Bearhill confronted Lexis King early in the match until officials sent him to the back. For the Lexis King and Dragon Lee, that was about 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. Well, actually more 2.5 to 3, somewhere in that area. It's an NA for the other, but a special moment, an exciting moment. Congratulations to Oba Femi. I mean, I broke it in our chat there, in our messenger chat, and MF reiterated what he said. He elaborated on it a great deal more here, because MF very simply said in our messenger chat, "Wow, mega push." MF and MF just elaborated on it. So, mega push, MF. You damn right, it's a mega push. I mean, here's a guy that we didn't even know about until about a month or two ago, and now he's the NXT North American champion. Wow. You want to talk about a fast rising star? Here you go. You got a fast rising star right here. And Michael Bolek, let me tell you, you got yourself a diamond in the rough here, man. So you got a young man at the rate he's going. He could end up having one of the brightest futures of any NXT star I've seen in recent memory. So good for him. Well deserved. And very exciting moment indeed. It was almost, it had the feel of like a Money in the Bank cash in almost. And but who cares, man? Oba Femi, the new North American champion. Dragon Lee can go back to SmackDown and take care of the business at hand over there with the LWO and all those guys. So For the Dragon and King, it's 2.5 to 3. It's an NA for the other, but a great moment nonetheless. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you got yourself a diamond in the rough here, man. I mean, you keep pushing. If your boys keep pushing Oba Femi the way they are right now, his future's so bright. We're all gonna have to wear shades here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the future's looking bright for Oba Femi. I mean, what a moment for him. I mean, a week ago he wins the breakout tournament, and now he cashes in on that contract and is now the NXT North American champion. I mean, what a moment for him. And I think they're real, like you said, they're really strapping the rocket on him. They're really pushing him. I mean, I really expect big things from him, but we'll wait and see. So, 2.5 to 3 on the Alexis King Dragon Lee match. I mean, this one's going to be an NA, but I think putting the title on Femi is the right move because now Dragon Lee can go back to SmackDown and take care of business, teaming with the LWO because he's probably got some unfinished business with Santos Escobar and his new team of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. So nothing more to say. Overall thoughts time, Fletch.
Anthony Floyer, you lead off.
7 to 7.5. NXT drifted along through much of the night, only to deliver one of its biggest moments in months at the very end. The action was solid across the board, but fairly predictable. The tag team champions retained. The non-established teams beat the veteran tag teams in the Dusty Classic. And Cora Jade and Josh Briggs picked up expected quick wins. However, Oba Femi changed everything. After an eye-opening run in the men's breakout tournament, he captured the North American Championship, solidifying him as the newest top star in NXT. He should be fun to watch in 2024, setting a new standard for the gold brand. Fallon Henley and Tiffany Stratton's story continued in multiple fun vignettes that are a highlight to watch in the coming days. NXT champion Ilya Dragunov will hopefully return soon, followed by NXT delivering its most hyped match going into 2024 when Dragunov defends that NXT title against Trick Williams. Until then, it will be on the gold brand to deliver fresh moments like this to keep the show moving. Somewhere between 7 and 7.5 for me, so not much more to say. Mr. NXT, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Tuesday night's show with one of the most exciting moments they've had in months.
Yeah, and because of that, I got to give it a 7 as well. I mean, this was a good show. I mean, yes, the matches, some of the matches were short and could have been better, but all in all, I thought they did a good job. So, 7 for me. So let's get into Dynamite.
Right, and we will indeed get into Dynamite as we went back to an old familiar stomping ground for AEW, as it was back at the old Daly's place in Jacksonville, Florida, right near TIAA Bank Field, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You could say it is definitely home base for AEW. We started it off with Hangman Adam Page versus Claudio Castagnoli, and it was the Hangman Adam Page winning the match in 17 minutes. Good back and forth start. An easy 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star match. The match was amazing. Solid match, up and down, all the way straight through. And I really got nothing else to say here. So, Anthony Florio, it is all yours, as we had ourselves quite a barn burner to kick it off here today. Or I should say last night.
I'm going to go as far as to call this the fight of the night, MF. This was, wow. When I saw that this match was announced, I said to myself, this is going to steal the damn show. And I am not at all surprised that it did. 4.25, teetering on 4.5, but it's more like 4.25 here. A rejuvenated Hangman Adam Page picked up a hard-fought victory to kick off Dynamite, defeating the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli in a damn good, highly physical bout that almost certainly put the former AEW World Heavyweight Champion back in contention for a shot to regain that title. The match was a great, energetic way to kick off the show, and the crowd responded in kind. If there was one negative, it was Claudio losing again. One of the most talented wrestlers in the world and one of the most gifted technicians on the roster. The idea that he loses as much as he does in these high-profile TV bouts is somewhat astonishing. He has the look and feel of a world heavyweight champion with the talent to back it up, but is defined by little more than being a good wrestler, almost like he was in WWE. That may ruffle some feathers and inspire outrage, but he very much could benefit from a singles push that is about him, rather than just tagging along with the BCC as an enforcer type who is the setup guy for anyone looking to battle Jon Moxley. But this feels and sounds, the crowd had the feels and sounds like the hottest AEW crowd in a long time. Claudio caught an incoming Hangman with a gorilla press, then slammed him out of the ring and onto the ramp in a very cool, potentially dangerous spot that highlighted the heel's unparalleled strength. But fight of the night for me, 4.25 stars. I understand Hangman needed the win more, but it's just that Claudio, another loss for Claudio. Where have we seen this before? Oh, yeah, WWE. So, I don't know, but AEW, he's had some more moments in AEW, including 2 Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title runs. So, and of course, being a part of, as of right now, the most dominant faction in the history of AEW, that being the BCC, although the Undisputed Kingdom is going to have something to say about that throughout this year. So we'll wait and see on that. But 4.25 stars, fight of the night for me. No question about this. Michael Bullock, I mean, yes, Hangman needed to win more. They're obviously building him up to possibly be back in the world title picture. It's been a little bit since he's been in it. But Claudio losing another match. We've seen this before, WWE.
Yes, but the thing is, and you just mentioned it, Florio. I mean, at least he's had some good moments in AEW. I mean, he's had 2 Ring of Honor world title runs. He's part of a really good faction in the Blackpool Combat Club. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but at least it's not as bad as it was during his time in WWE. Because remember, Florio, what did he not have during his run in WWE?
A run as either the WWE or Universal Champion, and he nearly had that against Roman. What could have been if they had put him over? What could have been? Yeah,
so that's the difference here. So I understand where you're coming from, Florio, but I don't think it's as bad as it was in WWE. So, but I do agree with you. I think Claudio needed this more than Hangman Adam Page. But again, it's nothing against Hangman Adam Page, but I think Claudio needed this more. So, 4 to 4.25. This was a really good match here to start it off. So I enjoyed it. I'm sure everybody in Jacksonville enjoyed it. So, yeah, that's just all I got to say on the whole thing. So, it's yours, Fletch.
All right. Next up we had was a 8-man tag team fight, as it was Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, Preston Vance, and Adam Copeland versus Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Tonga Loa, and Bishop Khan, with Prince Nana and Jake Roberts in their corner. And it was the face team, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, Adam Copeland, and Preston Vance winning the match in 10 minutes and 25 seconds. Anthony Floyo, it is yours.
3 to 3.25 stars. There was a backstory in this. Preston Vance was handpicked by the late Mr. Brody Lee to join the Dark Order, and last night he paid homage to his mentor and friend by picking up the win for his team in this 8-man tag bout. Despite his official status as a heel member of La Facción Ingobernables, He showed great fire during the babyface comeback, and the crowd was fully into him as he fired off Brody Lee's trademark discus clothesline to put Bishop Kaun away. There was not much in the way of storyline advancement, and the two teams had little in common, but it was about designed to honor the memory of Brody Lee, and as that, this was a success. The commentary team openly questioned whether Tony Khan was trying to bring Preston Vance into the light by putting him in this match. Just turn him babyface if that's the intent. And Preston Vance showed great fire and energy during the babyface comeback. Sort of makes you wonder why Tony Khan has been so insistent on positioning him as a heel. And Orange Cassidy reportedly tried for a choke slam, and on the third try, finally executed it. 3 1/4, solid 8-man. Nothing more to say here. Michael Bullock, great moment, though, for Preston Vance. And say what you want about Tony Khan. You know, we usually call him Tony Khan Man when, you know, he does questionable things, whether it's booking or stuff on social media. But at least give Tony Khan credit here for, I thought it was commendable of him and the creative team to let Preston Vance have this moment in honor of the late Mr. Brody Lee.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose of this whole thing. It was about paying tribute to the late Brody Lee, because Preston Vance learned from him when he was part of the Dark Order, and you saw when Preston Vance came out, he had the Brody wristband on his hand. That was a great tribute to him, and even a bigger tribute when he did Brody Lee's finisher. So yeah, I think if you're going to do this, at least maybe turn him babyface, since he was part of the babyface team. So, but I get he's part of that heel group, but we'll see what happens with this. But it was definitely a good way to pay tribute to Brody Lee, and there was another match that paid tribute to him. We'll get to that later on. So it is yours, Fletch. 3 1/4.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I say 3 1/4, and yeah, you guys made a very good observation about it too. So really nothing more to say, and we will move on here. Had a lot of stuff after that, and then our next actual thing was Ricky Starks going 1-on-1 with Sammy Guevara. And Sammy Guevara winning the match in roughly 9 minutes. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3 stars here. I mean, yes. I thought this was a good match, and of course, this is obviously a little build for their big tag team title fight and battle for the belts this Saturday, when it will be Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara challenging Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW World Tag Team titles. So nice momentum for Guevara, but can they cash in on the Saturday? So we'll see. So 3 stars for me. It's your Fletch.
Yeah, 3 stars. I totally agree with everything you guys said here. It was a solid matchup. It's definitely going to be interesting. I will say this: when Chris Jericho tried to make the save, though, ooh boy, I don't know what. Okay, it's a good thing the Judas song was kept playing, because Jericho got torn apart by that fans at Daly's place. If you've seen the unedited video or footage from Daly's place last night, oh boy, AEW, you got a problem on your hands. It seems like the fans are not on Jericho's side, and it's getting.
And I think we know why.
Well, obviously, we're not gonna hash it here. This is not the time or the place to bring it up.
Well, we already talked about
what it is. We know what it's about. We know exactly what it's about. So good luck trying to put that fire out. That's all I'm saying. So Michael, Anthony Foyo, it's yours.
What was the time again? 9.
Let me see. 9 minutes even, roughly 9 minutes.
Solid 3. 2 of the best young stars in AEW squared off in a match that should have been symbolic of the greatness that awaits the company in the years to come, but instead was the backdrop for a Chris Jericho save that no one asked for. The match was perfectly fine, if not relatively subdued for the talent involved, with a finish that should have left fans scratching their heads. Sammy Guevara caught Ricky Starks with an inside cradle for the win, dealing one of the most organically over and charismatic young stars another unnecessary loss. Big Bill made the save for his tag team partner, and a beatdown of the Spanish God ensued before Jericho made the save, his theme music playing for the duration of the run-in. That odd production choice aside, this entire ordeal failed to heat up the World Tag Team title feud, which culminates in a street fight Saturday night at Battle of the Belts. Maybe that is because Starks has now netted 2 losses when he really should be willing to build momentum up for the champions. Guevara took a nasty face-first bump off the ring apron that left him reeling entering the commercial break. Ricky Starks had the tightest jackknife pin on Sammy Guevara that I've seen in a while. And leaving Chris Jericho's theme song on throughout his run-in in hopes of drowning out the boos only makes it more obvious that is what is going on. There isn't anything left for me to say on this. Solid 3 stars.
I'll tell you this right now, guys. This is really making Tony Khan look even more bad right now. I mean, for letting this happen. But could you imagine? And I don't want to think this, but could you imagine what would happen if they put the belts on Jericho and Guevara?
I don't even want to know.
If you thought the fans were pissed already with Jericho, I mean, even being part of this, if they put the belts on them, it's the fans they're gonna probably want to bring
the poor Sammy Guevara, man, because Sammy Guevara kind of got caught in the crossfire once with the antics that he was doing with Ty Mello. That got him into some heat with the fan base and everything else. And now he just got back after his wife had a baby. And now he might be thrown back into the fire again because of Chris Jericho. And it could be an unfortunate, situation for Guevara. Guevara just got back trying to, whatever you want to say, soften whatever, and he might be thrown into the lion's den again because of Jericho. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel for Sammy Guevara that he's being thrown into this unfortunate situation. I mean, after this whole thing that the antics that him and Ty Mello did, and now he's got to go through this. I feel for him, and if I were Ty Mello right now, I would not be happy with Tony Khan with what he's putting her husband through right now, and well, I should say husband and father of that beautiful baby.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, this is totally unfair. I mean, Sammy Guevara just got back, and now you're throwing him into this horrible situation with Chris Jericho and the stuff that's going on. I mean, I used to not like Guevara, but I actually feel for the guy.
I mean, in one way, yes, and then in another way, there are some fans that are like, well, he's getting what he deserved. Karma's coming right back around to bite him in the ass because of the Ty Mello stuff, because of what he did prior to the Ty Mello thing, because it seemed like, and it sounds like, and we know the history of Sammy Guevara. Remember, he openly got engaged on AEW with his then girlfriend at the time. Ty Mello got involved. Sounds like now, if you believe the rumors, and this is all rumors, this is all hearsay, this is all, so take everything I'm about to say with a pinch of salt. But supposedly Ty Mello, you could say, was a homewrecker, caused the breakup of Sammy Guevara and his then fiance. They got together, got engaged, got married, had the baby, and now Sammy, just coming back off of that maternity leave, is now back into the fire, into the situation. So, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about the Chris Jericho thing. As far as Sammy Guevara goes, some are going to say, well, look, he paid his dues. He got ripped by the fans. The fans did not like what him and Ty did. And they kind of flaunted their love and kind of shoved it down our throats. So there's some who are still harboring some ill will. And that's why I think some of them are like, well, Sammy's getting what he deserves. For me, for Anthony, for Michael Bullock, we disagree. We feel like, hey, he made a mistake. Young, stupid thing. Young love. I mean, that's what we'll chalk it up to. Young love, puppy love, whatever the hell you want to call it. And did they do some things that kind of ruffled our feathers? I'm probably gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say what they did was totally cool. No, it wasn't. I mean, you saw the photos. You know what went down. You saw what was going on. That was definitely not PG crap. So, I mean, I don't know. It kind of, I can see it both ways. Let's say that. I can see it on both sides of the fence.
But I'm more with the other fan and you and Florio, because look, what Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara did, like you said, was wrong. What they did was wrong. I mean, I think they learned from their mistakes. Look, they're the proud parents of a beautiful baby now, and I'm pretty sure they're going to mature from it. I'm sure they learned from their past mistakes, and they just move on from it. But I know there's people who are going to disagree with us and say karma's going to come back and bite them, and that's what's happening. But I'm sorry, I just don't think he deserves it. I mean, he learned from his mistakes, and I just think everybody's just got to move on from what he did in the past.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they take that memo or not. All right, 8 women tag team fight that we had here. You could even make a case for another showcase because of Mr. Brody Lee here. Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Anna Jay. They went up against Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Soraya, and Ruby Soho. When it was all said and done, it was Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Anna Jay winning the match, as it was Anna Jay with the Queen Slayer as she made Sky Blue tap out to it. So Anthony Florio, that was a 9-minute match. Thunder Rosa, Stat, Willow, and Anna gets the win.
Another 3 stars. Anna Jay followed in the footsteps of her former Dark Order brethren, Preston Vance, dedicating her performance to the late Brody Lee and scoring a big win in 8-woman tag action. An action-packed match that highlighted all involved. This was a fun highlight reel of the various competitors that make up a women's roster, loaded with talent, but waiting for a consistent creative effort and opportunity. Anna Jay tapped Sky Blue out with the Queen Slayer sleeper. And with that win, it may not have been against the TBS champion Julia Hart. It was against Julia Hart's disciple, Sky Blue. And because of that, Anna Jay just got herself an unexpected championship committee moment. Saturday night, Battle of the Belts, the biggest match of Anna Jay's career, when she will be challenging Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. So biggest win for Anna Jay in some time, and the biggest match coming up in just a moment here. And set her, Anna Jay tapped Sky Blue out with the Queen Slayer Sleeper, and set herself up for a showdown with Julia Hart for the TBS Championship. That'll be part of Battle of the Belts Saturday night. We know that's going to be the direction, and it will most certainly be a nice showcase for two of the young competitors who got their starts in Daly's place. 5 of the women involved in this match made their debuts in AEW during the company's residency at Daly's place during the pandemic, that being Anna Jay, Julia Hart, as well as Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, and Sky Blue. And Anna Jay wore her Brody Lee shirt, another nice tribute to one of the greats in AEW history, and a guy still and will forever always be considered gone way too soon. No question about that. So this was another solid 3 stars. And I don't do this often, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to give a quick shout out to our dear friend Ryan Abedizian, who is a huge Anna Jay fan. And I saw him talking about this on his Twitter, and he is very pleased with the outcome. And he's even more pleased that he's been wanting Anna Jay to get pushed for quite some time, and she's finally getting that push here. And now the biggest win for her in some time. I can't remember the last time Anna Jay actually won a match. It's been forever and a day, I feel, but nonetheless, a monumental win for her. And now she's stepping into the biggest match of her AEW career, Saturday night, Battle of the Belts. One of the big events of AEW. This is the biggest moment for Anna Jay. I hate to say it. I don't think she's going to win the title. I think Julia's going to go over. But don't be surprised if Anna gets a couple of hope spots here and there. And of course, don't be surprised if Sky Blue ends up figuring into the outcome of this one. So solid 3 stars. So nothing much more to say here. Michael Bullock, huge win for Anna Jay, and our dear friend Ryan Abedizian couldn't be any more delighted about it.
Oh yeah, I've seen the comments, not just on Twitter, but on Anna Jay's Instagram page, and he has a total affection for Anna Jay, and quite frankly, I can't blame him for it. But yeah, I mean, a big win, and obviously good for her to get the win for the team because, like I said, she came up through the Dark Order under Brody Lee, and when she was known as number 99, and yeah, you saw her wear the shirt, the Brody Lee shirt, paying tribute, and I don't know if you noticed, but on AEW's Instagram, when they talked to her backstage of what Brody Lee meant to her, you could just see her get emotional in that interview because she knew how much Brody Lee meant to her, how much he saw a lot of potential in her, and yeah, you don't usually see emotion coming out of someone like her, but she did, and like you said, now she gets the opportunity to challenge Julia Hart for the TBS title. God, as much as I really want to see her win because, I mean, she has yet to win a championship of any kind in AEW, whether it's the TBS or the AEW Women's World title. But as much as I really want to see it, I'm with Florio. I think Julia Hart's going to retain, and I think it's going to be because of Sky Blue. So, but you never know. We've seen crazier things happen before. So, I mean, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of maybe Anna Jay going over, but we'll wait and see what happens. It's yours, Fletch. 3 stars for me on the match.
3 stars, agreed. I don't see it. I think Anna will give it a gallant effort. I just don't think it's going to be a crowning of a new champion. I just don't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I really don't. I think it's going to be a good match, but I don't think it's going to be a anything else to play out. So yeah, nothing more to say. Yep. So I really got nothing else to say. And Michael Bullock, so we'll just indeed move on. And I think there's only one thing left for us to worry about here tonight. Let me see. All right, we got Roderick Strong versus Brian Keith. Roderick Strong winning the match in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Really don't need to say much about that matchup. It does lead us to the main event of the evening, and it was Sting and Darby Allin versus Konosuke Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs in a tornado tag team fight. Sting and Darby Allin winning the match in 10 minutes. After the match was over, they had a promo segment, and they said for Sting what was going to be next for him, and basically, or who is going to be his final opponent at Revolution. And the Young Bucks came out, and now there's rumors that it will be the Young Bucks versus Sting and Darby Allin in Greensboro at Revolution as the final opponents for Sting's illustrious career. So, interesting development if that's the case. I think it's about a 3-star bout, but there wasn't really anything amazing about the tornado tag. Yes, it was good in certain elements. And for the Bucks to be the final opponents is actually a little bit of a right field call. I don't think I ever thought it was going to be the Bucks, to be real honest. But if it is, hey, I think it'll work. We'll see. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
3.25 stars. The match was wild and chaotic and did a nice job of accentuating positives and hiding negatives. It also put Sting firmly in the spotlight, following a scorpion death drop from the stands through on Powerhouse Hobbs through tables on the floor. Need I remind you, this man is 64 years old and taking bumps like that. I still can't get over that, man. It's just, I just gain more and more respect for this man. I mean, just incredible what he's doing at his age. I mean, a man his age, they're not doing much stuff like that, but my goodness, unbelievable. However, it was most certainly alarming when it took much longer for Sting to get to his feet, and he had obvious dialogue with both Darby Allin and the referee, Paul Turner. Ultimately, he was able to stand up just in time to be asked by Tony Schiavone who his retirement match at the Revolution pay-per-view on March 3rd would be against. Cue the Young Bucks, now sporting eye-roll-worthy porn stashes and setting themselves up for the spot. Siphoning off a little bit of the hype surrounding Sting's retirement is on point for a team. Perhaps saving such a significant match for someone or some team more closely linked to the Stinger would be a better option. But who knows? Perhaps he handpicked the Young Bucks. If so, then good for them. It may be a broken record at this point, but Darby Allin is seriously going to hurt himself one of these days. He's the modern day Jeff Hardy. That's all there is to it. I mean, he is what Jeff Hardy was all those years ago. And I can't say it enough. Sting delivered a scorpion death drop on Powerhouse Hobbs from the stands through tables at ringside for the win. Considering the Revolution pay-per-view is being built around Sting's retirement match, maybe preserving your drawing card's body would be best for business. So, solid 3 stars for the effort here. So, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, wild and chaotic tornado tag. Outcome never in doubt. But the highlight, Sting with the scorpion death drop on Powerhouse Hobbs from the stands through 2 tables. 64 years old and still taking bumps like that. Insane.
I don't know how he's doing that at 64 years old. I mean, people like that shouldn't be doing it, but for him to not get seriously hurt after something like that at 64, it just boggles my mind, but it amazes me. I mean, if that doesn't get you to garner enough respect for Sting. I don't know what will, but 3 stars for me. I mean, this was a solid main event here, but yeah, the Young Bucks being the ones to face Sting and Darby Allin in Sting's final match at Revolution is an interesting choice. But if he handpicked them, then you know what, good for him, and of course, good for the Bucks too, because this is their a huge opportunity for them. So we'll see what happens. So, Fletch, it is yours.
All right, and yeah, 3 stars, like we said. Anthony Florio, overall review is yours.
All right. What do we have here? Okay. This was about 7.5, maybe 8 here. There was plenty to like about this show. The quote unquote homecoming tag was appropriate, as was highlighting 2 stars in Preston Vance and Anna Jay, so closely linked to the late Brody Lee, who left such an indelible mark on AEW and its fans during the company's long COVID-19 pandemic stint at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, continuing to tease a potential 3-way dance between Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and AEW World Heavyweight Champion Samoa Joe was also well done, as those 3 have history and are arguably the 3 hottest singles competitors in AEW right now. The randomness of some of the matches was interesting, and Adam Cole essentially regurgitating the same promo from last week was odd, but neither was enough to hurt the overall show. The Young Bucks returning and inserting themselves into Sting's retirement match feels desperate though, and forced. Maybe there is a story that can be told to try and justify it, but it feels extremely unearned. A star the stature of Sting has so many different directions to go in that simply using his retirement to try and get the Bucks over again feels counterproductive. Solid show with a meh ending. And this one, I believe, earns the rating of about 7.5 or so. So it was 8, but I bumped it down to 7.5. But it was still a very good show, though. So not much more to say on that. Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts?
Yeah, it's about a 7.5 for me as well. I mean, it was a very good show with a meh ending. I mean, I know there's going to be some people, including us, like, I mean, wait a minute, Sting's final match. I mean, you got the Young Bucks. I mean, if this is another chance to put the Young Bucks over, I don't know. I mean, there's some people are going to feel like maybe Sting deserves a little bit better, but you know what? You never know. We'll wait and see. So there's really nothing more to say on it. So, Fletch, you have the final say.
7.5 is my rating for the show. Absolutely an amazing. It was a good show. A little bit of a love letter to the fans of the Daly's Place, because that was AEW's home, especially during the pandemic. And they did an amazing job to honor those fans and the loyalty that they had during that time. So they did a really good job with it. Amazing job to do it at Daly's Place. And I would love to see them at least do that once a year. Go back to Daly's Place. Give us one of those type of shows, once a year, and just to give the fans a little something, to say the very least, would be pretty cool to have. So that's it. We're done. We're out of here. Tomorrow is NFL Friday, but we got some stuff beforehand. We got big news coming out of the world of sports.
Positively.
We had 3.
Positively, man.
I thought you were gonna interrupt me on that one.
No.
We had to say, 3 coaches are no longer going to be with us when we start the new season. Nick Saban retiring from Alabama. We lost also, which I could not even believe because this caught me by surprise, Pete Carroll leaving. Well, no longer the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. However, he is supposed to be remaining with the team in an advisory job. And then the massive one that got dropped earlier today, Bill Belichick is going to leave the New England Patriots. His time in New England has indeed come to an end. We're going to wait and see what happens with Bill and let the rumors begin who could be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. There's already a few names that are being thrown around here. So we'll get into that. The national championship game, we'll get into more details on that. We talked a little bit about it on Monday. We're gonna do a little more deeper dive on that game tomorrow. And then we also got Super Wild Card Weekend. 6 games, 3 days of NFL action. 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, including a Monday nighter as well. We'll get into all that, give our predictions and everything else. 10:30 tomorrow night, Tone 25. Thank you, Anthony Floyo. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Be a friend, tell a friend, say something nice. You can change their freaking life. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. See ya, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.